Everyone's all good with the microphones and everything?
Yeah, I have to
Yes.
explain myself, but
Okay.
Check 1, 2.
Testing, testing.
Check.
hello. Yes, we're good.
Okay.
Check.
All right, whenever you're ready, Chair.
All right, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance, I believe, first. Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Let's do roll call.
Okay, agenda item C, roll call. Commissioner Sabera,
Oh, here.
Zaragoza, Camarda,
Here.
Tran, Thompson, Vice Chair Dennis,
Here.
and Chair Hypes,
Here.
and ex officio members Rodriguez
Here.
and Kusha.
Here.
Chair Hypes, I would like to remind the audience that if they wish to address the commission, they must submit a green request to speak form located at the podium in the back of the council chamber. Citizens can submit public comment to the commission electronically no later than 1 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Comments received before the deadline will be sent to the commission and will be part of the record and will be mentioned as part of the public comment portion of the agenda. Material may be emailed to cityclerk@cityofmerced.org. Any correspondence received after 1 p.m. will be distributed to the commission and retained for the official record. Agenda item D, public comment. Chair Hypes, the clerk's office did not receive any public comment, and there is nobody in the audience.
All right. I guess we can move on then, right? Let's see here.
Agenda item E, action items. E1, approval of community outreach plan for 2025-26 public art funding.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. So the Future Arts Subcommittee, the Future Arts Project Subcommittee met last week and talked about getting community input on what projects they'd like to see come out as RFPs or RFQs from this $75,000 that council has allocated to 2025-2026. So we are suggesting that we put together a community outreach plan so we can ask people what they'd like to see as far as arts project goes, from murals, sculptures, performances, another photography event, those kinds of things. So we want feedback from the community. So the idea is to put a project page together on a site we call engage.cityofmerced. And so we'll run some social media content. We'll get the commissioners to talk about the outreach. We'll do some videos, some reels, and we'll do that for 30 days so that we can come back in September with some really, so the subcommittee will meet again, and then we'll come back to the commission in September to show the results of our efforts and then select from those projects so we can go to council at the end of September or beginning of October, with our recommendations. And then we'll put together RFPs, RFQs, and then go out for bid.
That's great. Let's see here. So, oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, all right, so I saw Colton first, and then Eddie, you, so we'll start with Colton.
Thanks for that report, Jennifer. I, along with Gregario and Glenn, met, and the idea was, we've been doing this with us kind of coming up with these ideas, and now we thought that possibly getting input from the community would be a great idea. We'd love to hear everyone else's thoughts on that. Jennifer, are we good with how soon do you think we can get reels out and stuff, if that's?
Next week?
Next week, that's soon,
Yeah,
great. And we'll
we'll
have it on
start soon.
social
Well-
media, and we can share it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And
I've
it's
created
easy-
the site, and so I just need to put some initial information out, and then I'll be reaching out to you so that we can do some quick reels, and you can reach out to your respective networks and share at some of the events that you all go to.
Awesome, that's great. And then press release, County Times, that kind of
Yep.
stuff, perhaps? Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Eddie?
My question is very similar. How soon can we start telling people to go to engage.cityofmerced.com?
So the site I'm working on right now, and I just need to add some artwork to the site. And so since artists are visual, with just some general information and some examples of what city property is, because I think that people are gonna come up with some great ideas. For us, we need to consider where they'll be installed, and that has to be on city-owned property and rights of way.
Would it be possible to maybe, along with the art projects, have some of the blank spaces that art can be made?
Sure, we can give some examples. We talked about that in the subcommittee meeting, and so we can give some examples of city rights of way, city properties. For example, by by Applegate Park, over the R Street Bridge, there's, I don't know what it's called, a pony wall that separates the walking path on the bridge from the street. That long, it's probably about 3 feet high. And we had talked about creating a mural on that area. So I need to give some examples of what is city-owned property and, what is considered something we can install public art on.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. Is the Arts Commission or this funding, are we able to generate revenue at all?
No.
Okay.
We are not a fundraising entity.
Well, no, because I was thinking in my mind, like a partner could be, for instance, Merced Theater, and you could put on, you can encourage an act to come to Merced, and part of this could be utilized as the booking fee, and then that booking fee, whatever's made in ticket sales, could either, in my mind, would go back into a pot of funding that we'd be able to utilize for other purposes as well.
Okay, if you would like to add that to a future agenda, I can do some research
Yeah.
on how we might be able to collaborate with property owners, businesses to partner on performances, things like that. So I can do some research and bring that back in September.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll need to, if you can add that during your request for items on a future agenda, that would be great.
Does anyone else have any other comments or? Colton?
I'll make a motion. Is that working? Hold on, I did the wrong thing. I'll make a motion. Can I make a motion to approve this outreach plan for 2025-26 public art funding for future projects?
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Motion to second.
Okay. So I guess we can all go to the vote, or?
Yes, I'm sorry, who was the seconder? Tabera? Okay. Yes, so I have a motion by Vice Chair Colton and a second by Commissioner Tabera. Chair and Commissioners, please cast your vote. And the vote passes unanimously.
Cool.
All right, so moving on to reports.
Agenda item F, reports. F1, report on status of approved art projects.
So we wanted to provide an update on where we are with the the approved art projects. And so today, we issued an RFQ for our Brown Bag Concert Series. So that went out today. I'm going to publicize that this afternoon, if not tomorrow morning. There were some dates that were wrong that were incorrect on the original RFQ. So the performance dates were incorrect on the RFQ. So we updated those, and those are available, I believe, now on the bid site. So I wanted to make sure that our purchasing department had enough time to get those updates in. So we are going to be meeting as a subcommittee in after August 7th. So we'll come back for a special meeting to review our recommendations or the subcommittee's recommendations based on the submissions for this Brown Bag Concert Series. And so we will be holding those in the newly renovated Bob Hart Square, which will be done sometime in October. And so we wanted to play it safe and make sure that we were ready to go with the venue. So we will be holding our first concert in November, and those dates will be updated on the RFQ. November, and then we'll have another one in December, and then the last one in January. So we'll be looking at those submissions and coming back to you at a special meeting so that you can review and select. So excited about that. We are going out to RFQ for the logo design for the Downtown Arts District signage, and so that will be issued on or around July 24th. It'll close August 29th, and we're looking for artists or designers that will design a logo that will go on the street sign or signage in the downtown area to identify our honorary arts district. And so, of course, that would be something that will hopefully allow others to notice us as an identified arts district in our downtown area. So we're excited about that. The signs will be installed along Main Street from Martin Luther King Jr. Way to O Street by our city's public works crews. So, the RFP for art mural to be installed along R Street and Ference Park multi-use path. So currently, and I made some notes, so I'm gonna read this. So currently, California law requires artists, including muralists, to have a contractor's license for any project over $1,000 or involving scaffolding or structural work. The rule enforced by the Contractor State License Board has caused delayed and even cancellation of mural projects across the state since enforcement ramped up in 2023. So to address this, Senate Bill 456 would exempt muralists from contractor licensing requirements. The bill applies to original fine art murals, not commercial signage, and has already passed the committee votes with unanimous support. So it's now in the Appropriations Committee, the Senate Appropriations Committee. So if it passes, artists will be able to work on murals without needing a contractor's license. So we will hear most likely in October. So we had to put that mural project on hold until we hear back from the Appropriations Commission or our lobbyist when they give us that information. Otherwise, we would require artists to get a contractor's license. And yeah, so unfortunately that's on hold, but we're watching the progression of that bill. So RFP for recycled item sculpture or trash art in Ference Park. So we're looking at putting out the RFP for this project in August with a September close date, and then we'll meet as a subcommittee prior to the September meeting and review those RFPs or RFQs. And then we'll take that to council so they'll be able to review it. So that's on deck to come up. And then the RFP for the utility box refresh project. So I've been working with our Public Works Department to determine how to prep already painted utility boxes. They were painted in 2021. And so we need to find a way to prep those boxes and remove part of that, that artwork or paint. And it's labor intensive. So we're looking at creative ways to engage with folks who might need some work service hours to help us prep those utility boxes. So that project is slowly progressing, but we need to consider the purpose of the utility box. And so we have to be very careful about the way we remove the paint and prep the box for future art. So for example, we have 3 utility box art projects that are coming up in September that have been approved from many months ago. And so we're now meeting with our Public Works Department so Public Works can explain where it can be brush painted, where it can be painted with other spray painted, sorry, I was looking for that word. Spray painted, brush painted, what can be painted, what can't be painted. And so they're very glad that we're meeting with them so that they understand the application process for this project. So we are on hold with that refresh project because we need to make sure that we prep the boxes because we know that we're gonna have to come back every 3 to 5 years to install new art projects, just because many of them have direct sunlight and are subject to extreme heat, and so they fade. Some are under shade, so they'll last longer. So we just need to have a plan and have a strategy so that we know what we're doing for future art projects when we invest money in that. So those are the projects that we are working on, and excited that they are getting ready to go out for RFP and RFQ.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Eddie?
Thank you, Jennifer. I know that was like a, yeah, you filled this in on a lot. For the recycled item sculpture RFP, where can we send artists to find that? Is it just through the city website or?
So it'll be under the bid section. If you go to the city website, it'll be doing business, and then there's a bid section. But I will make sure that we publicize that, and I'll send out an email to everyone on the commission to know, when it's coming up. So we'll put it on social media, and then we'll ask you to share it with your respective networks.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Dennis?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Hello. Jennifer, do you know, at the Bob Hart Square stage, do you know if lighting is going to be installed at all? I'm just a little concerned with evening performances, unless we do it early enough where there's still light, daylight, but I don't remember anything about lighting.
So there will be lighting at Bob Hart Square. I am not, I don't have the answer on the stage lighting, but I will work with our engineering department and the contractors so that we have a map of what that lighting will look like, so I can report back.
Thank you. And also on the utility boxes, would it be helpful if we had like a subcommittee to help with the brainstorm on that? Do you think we need that, or do we just keep doing what we?
A subcommittee, we could talk about it, but the public works crews, we've researched what it takes to remove the paint from the utility boxes, and so we just need to figure out if we're going to require artists to do that, or if if we have partnerships with like a work study program where folks would be able to come and help us with that.
Yeah.
We don't have our public works crews. We would need to pay our public works crews to remove the paint from that, and it's like we've talked about, I think in several past meetings, it's pretty labor intensive. So, because you have to, luckily we have people apply a protective graffiti coating, but unfortunately it's difficult to to remove. So it just takes a lot of elbow grease, and we need to figure out the best and most productive way to do that before we put the RFP out and require artists to prep it, or if we can do some prepping through a partnership.
Yeah, I remember when, on our last meeting, Glenn mentioned that some community workers could do that, which would be great if that does
So that's one of
happen,
the
so,
avenues we're looking at to see if that's an opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer.
Nick?
Yeah, I had two questions. With regards to the concert series, as part of the RFP, are you getting requirements from the musicians with regards to what they need in terms of electricity for amplification instruments, things like that?
Yes, I believe in the RFQ,
Yeah,
it
that's fine, I'm
indicates
sorry.
what the requirements would be. I don't have it right in front of me, but I know that there are requirements that groups would need to take into consideration, similar to those at the Mercado. So, you know, they've played in Ballpark Square before. We have electrical hookups. They'll have to bring their own amplifier, their own setup. I just need to confirm the lighting layout.
And
of
there'll
the
be somebody,
stage.
and there'll be somebody from Parks and Rec to make sure that the
Well, we
power,
will
the
all
power.
be there to support them.
Right,
Yes, yes, there
Yeah.
will be,
okay.
absolutely.
That was question one. And question two, on the signage, has a standard sign that we're going to be doing, has that been decided on?
So the subcommittee discussed a logo identifier so that the Public Works crews can reproduce the street signs. And so I think at the last Arts Commission meeting, there were some examples that we shared. And so the subcommittee recommended or suggested a logo to identify the Arts District so that as the Arts District expands, it's easier, it would be more productive to use that logo and then create additional signage to the city street signs. Does that make sense? So the logo will go on a city street sign.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense. I wasn't sure because, you know, different logos will look different depending on the size or the dimensions of the sign or banner or whatever it's going on.
Yeah, so where is my?
Yeah, and I remember we saw the examples.
So
at the
the
last
initial
meeting and-
oh, I apologize.
Yeah, and I was just saying, I remember we looked at the examples, 4 or 5 examples from different communities at both the last meeting and at the subcommittee meeting a while before that, so, yeah.
So the thought was that the initial focus would be on developing a simple single-colored logo that can be incorporated into the city's standard street signage. The approach will allow for cost-effective production and scalability as the district grows. So if we were to create a sign, we were going to have to find some way to affix it to something. And so most cost-effective and productive would be to an existing street sign. So we would add that logo to an existing, we would add that logo to the existing street pole. So we would recreate the sign. So it would say M Street with the Arts District logo on it.
Okay.
And then we also, I believe that we also thought that there could be some additional signage, like flags, that could be at each entrance. And I think we talked about that as well during the subcommittee meeting, and that'll be built into the RFQ.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Eddie?
One, I wanted to ask Rob if you were gonna suggest adding that agenda item that she had mentioned about when groups come into play. Another question I was thinking is, okay, let's say we come up with the logo, which we will come up with the logo. Would somebody ever make merchandise? Like artists might, or even people from the town might want to have a T-shirt with a Arts District logo or other type of merchandise with that logo on it. And is that something that the city would be open to?
I will check and follow up.
Were you suggesting that the artist who created the logo would make merchandise, or the city could actually make the merchandise?
I don't know, to be honest. I was thinking like maybe that's a way the city helps to generate funding similar to what you were saying, so that we can increase the arts budget, or if we have a year where there's not gonna be as much funding, this could be a way to generate revenue for the art projects.
We would like you to investigate how we can make money.
Let me write that down.
Wait, we're not there yet. Never mind. Thank you. Wow, that was, thank you for so much. That was a lot. Oh, Nick?
Yep, going off of Eddie's last point, I think that for somebody like, something like that, enabling the city to make money, the city would have to own the logo and then license it for use.
All right. Any other questions or comments on the information? All of the different arts project coming up? Nothing? Oh, yeah, good work. All right, let's move on, right?
Yes. Okay, agenda item G, business, G1, request to add item to future agenda.
Oh, I have something. We would like for you to kind of investigate the potential of being able to partner with organizations to bring in additional revenue to the Arts Commission, or ways that we can supplement our budget this year with additional funds. Glenn?
So something that I would like to add to the future agenda, you know, there are cities that incentivize businesses to hire artists in ways like they'll give them discounts on their business license or other things associated with the city. And of course, the artist has to have a business license as well. I'm not sure if I'm wording this correctly or not, but I would definitely like to add that to a future agenda to see if there isn't some way that the city of Merced could have a program similar to that, where we can, you know, incentivize businesses to hire local artists to do, you know, graphic design, web design, all kinds of other art or creative work, and in a way that's also brings more artists into the fold, with getting them involved with having them with business licenses and kind of teaching them that end of things. I think it would be a really good way for, you know, like I said, when I first got on here, is I want to find ways to help create revenue for artists here in town, to help them find a way to earn a living. I think this would be a good way to kind of, you know, provoke some of these businesses to hiring more local artists versus out-of-town contractors and things of that nature. So, yeah.
I will work on that.
Thank you.
Danke.
Commissioner Dennis?
Yeah, I would like us to, I know we've talked about, you know, maybe meeting quarterly, but sometimes, and I don't want to add anything on our plan, I know we're all busy, but sometimes every other month seems like it's too long. And you know, it's like we only meet 6 times a year rather than 12 times, even though we're going to have a special meeting next month. But I'd like to have a discussion about possibly meeting every month, or even quarterly, if that's the way we want to go, but maybe adding an extra meeting.
I will research.
Thank you.
I was being facetious about that. Let's meet 2 times a year. Any other comments for additional things to be added to the agenda for?
I mean, just to echo what Colton was speaking on earlier, I do feel like 2 months is so hard to plan and also easiest to plan, but I feel like once a month would be so much easier to just constantly build consistency with what we need, how we communicate, and also just get more feedback from the community. Because I feel like when we talk to an artist, it's like, oh, I had an idea about a month ago. Oh, I jumped on a different project because it took too long to move to. And it's just like, well, if we kind of just made those little benchmarks or little pillars here and there and show the community where we are meeting more often, they will be more inclined to come and meet us on projects that we are asking for. At least, you know, that's just my 2 cents.
All right. Should we move on to commission comments?
Yes, agenda item G2, commission comments.
All right, Colton.
Well, and maybe Glenn might, and Jennifer might, and Gregorio might want to comment on this too, but we, last city council meeting, they are working on the general plan for the city, and they were looking at the logo for that general plan, and we got recruited to, as an arts commission, to look at that logo. And unfortunately, you know, it's going really fast, and it was this last city council meeting, and they need it for this next city council meeting, and we were meeting as a future projects subcommittee, and so we had Glenn, Gregorio, and we had some of the other city staff, including Jennifer, with us, and well, we came up with a logo, and we did it because we needed to have it now. Glenn volunteered graciously his time, and he came up with samples, and but anyway, we just want to be as transparent as possible that this did happen, and we didn't do an RFQ or anything like that because the time was of the essence. There was no time. By the time we get an RFQ out there, it'd be past, and so. But if anyone from that subcommittee wants to mention anything else, please do.
Love the designs, are really cool. I do like the idea for the logo for the area. I just do believe that Glenn should get his flowers. He was ready on this. He was like, "Oh, I know what to do." In like 3 seconds, I'm like, "Damn, Glenn, that's so nice." We asked the right guy to be here today. That is so cool. So I just want to really compliment Glenn for stepping up on that project when he did, because in less than 12 hours, he came back with a couple of templates, and I was just like, dude, amazing. So just want to give some compliments to Glenn. But bam. Have you all got a chance to see it yet?
No, we'll have to leave these here after the meeting. Let's see, Nick, you were there, but
My question was, can we see the logo?
oh, got it. Glenn.
Yeah, so the logo, you know, it was a very time-sensitive thing that happened, and I just decided that it needed to get done. The importance of the logo getting done outweighed getting paid or any of that other BS. I also feel that the city definitely needs, you know, some modern branding and logos to be added to what they're currently doing, and I was just like, hey, this is a great opportunity for me to just get it done and get it going. So I'm hoping everybody's happy with what turned out. I hope it gets lots of use. You know, I'm excited to just be able to contribute, you know? So, yeah.
Good job.
Cool. Thanks for all the props, guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much, you guys. I mean, that was Glenn, like Gregorio said, just whip these out, and they're amazing. Can't wait for it to be shown to the city council, and hopefully they'll just approve them and be happy with them. Yeah, but we'll see. That's yeah.
If they don't, we won't know about it until September.
Also, full transparency too, there is a California Districts grant that for this California Arts Council that we've talked about, you know, making the downtown the arts district. This is kind of part of that, where it becomes official with the state. And there's some funding. Unfortunately, it's not the funding that they had before. Right now, there are 17 cultural districts in the state of California designated by the state. And that first round, they had pretty good, significant funding, like $30,000, something like that. We're only going to, you know, we can only apply for $5,000 for each year for 2 years, so $10,000 as a whole. But it could really help us for what we're doing as an arts commission in the city for our cultural district downtown. And it needs three entities. It has to have a business association, it has to have a government entity, and it has to have a nonprofit. So me as a nonprofit with the Merced County Arts Council, we can apply for that because we get invited to do that. We're also working with the Merced Partnership, with Gloria, the executive director there that does all of downtown right now. She's got some great ideas, and of course with the city we're working with. So we need those three entities to make this happen. It's due on August 7th, so I have still a lot of work to do, and it's coming up quick. And then also working on, so we can only commission art on city-owned property, but the more and more there are businesses asking for murals on their property. And also, at least there is one example of a mural that was put on the building without the property owner's consent. And so I'm kind of working with that, trying to figure that out on our end as a nonprofit to go alongside what we're doing with the Arts Commission in the city, with what we can't do with the city, but we can do as nonprofits, and hopefully maybe generate some funding and help with that. But if you guys have any questions about that, I can tell you the exact site on that and how we're working that out. But we're still trying to figure out the details on that. So those are some of the projects I'm working on as well. And there is an art call for art and altars for our Dia de los Muertos exhibit coming up in the fall. It's open now, so look at artsmerced.org. Any artists out there or people that enjoy altars, our friend does. It's such a great celebration. I'd love for as many people to be a part of that as possible. And that's all I have. Thanks.
Eddie?
So this Sunday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. At Cienojos, they'll be having a car and art show called Cruel Summer. So if you want something to do Sunday morning.
Nick?
Helps if I turn the mic on. I'm leading a barn dance up in Sonora this Saturday night. I've become their house caller. It happens at the Aronas Club every third Saturday. And Colton, isn't there a general meeting of the Arts Council coming up?
Yes, well, thanks for mentioning that. It's our annual meeting and showcase where we have a meeting that's open to the public about what we're doing as a nonprofit, as Merced County Arts Council, and at the MAC, and we'll have a showcase. We're trying to make it entertaining as well. So it'll be a little bit of business, adding on new officers, a slate of officers, a new board member, talking about our financial situation, and some of the things that are coming up. But a lot of entertainment, a lot of fun. So if anybody, everyone's invited. It's a free event. We'll even have some food and drinks. So thank you for mentioning that, Nick.
And what's the date for that?
It is July 24th, next week, Thursday, a week from today at 5:30.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you two work on this? Is that-
Should go on the road.
All right. All right. Anyone else have any other comments?
Just want to promote another event coming on at Cienojos Studios. That's 1740 Canal Street. They're going to have their art buffet from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. That's basically going to be what it sounds like is you go and you want to do a project from the ages from 14 to 24. You want to just do a project right then and there, and they will have the supplies there, which is pretty great, especially when you don't have to pay for it. Thank God. But also, a lot of those pieces will be showcased on the 26th or later this month. So if you get a chance or know anybody who wants to try to get their foot in the door for an art project this month, just on the 26th maybe, that would be the time to do it. So again, that's 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Cienojos Studio here in Merced. Go check it out.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's see. Oh. I got your request to speak way too late. That's all right. I took it off. That's all right. Let's say, so Phoenix Creative Collective is housed over at the Art Center, and they're producing a show called Dearly Departed, opening on August 9th through the 17th. It's all about a dysfunctional Southern family who's all gathering together to well wish their relative who passed away. And there's, I think he's wearing ballet slippers at one point. It's a comedy, and it's a lot of fun. They're also producing on August 22nd a cabaret performance filled with music from your favorite shows, music and scenes from your favorite shows. And then at the end of August, United Way of Merced County is throwing people off the rooftop of the Tioga apartments in a fundraiser called Over the Edge, where people raise money in order to be able to rappel off of the Tioga apartment building. And there will be a block party with music, entertainment, and food happening on the same day. Anyone else? Okay. Then I think we move to next.
Yes. Agenda item H, adjournment.
Does
I'll make
any-
a motion.
Okay, so one. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. No one wants to leave. No.
Okay, I have a motion by Vice Chair Dennis and a second by Commissioner Camarda. Chair and Commissioners, please cast your vote. Oh, and you know what? I'm so sorry. I need to reset this. Please cast your vote now.
Perfect.
And the vote passes unanimously.
All right. If anyone wants to, there's some logos in here since we're no longer doing business. If anyone wants to take a look at these, are awesome.